بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everybody, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you are enjoying your time at home. Of course, stay home, stay safe. So I'm going to repeat the lesson 1 in sequence number 3, always with 4ms. Sequence 3 is me, my community and citizenship. Lesson 1, I listen and do. What is the objective of this lesson? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to give recommendations and pieces of advice on how to be a good citizen in the community using the imperative and support your opinion with an argument. So you can see the keywords here. To give recommendations. To give recommendations is to tell someone how to do something. Well, what should he do? Okay, he wants, for example, to achieve a goal. You give him some recommendations on how to achieve his goal. To give pieces of advice. Advise someone. You advise someone. For example, if someone is smoking, advise him to stop smoking. You say you should stop smoking. Well, stop smoking. So now the pieces of advice is about how to be a good citizen. We are all citizens in Algeria. I am an Algerian citizen. So in the community, using the imperative and support your opinion with an argument. We are going to see all these keywords in this lesson. So let's start with step 1. It's pre-listening. Match each picture with its corresponding sentence. So take a look at these pictures. Take a close look. So this is picture number 1. This is picture number 2. This is picture number 3. I can explain the pictures. This is money. We are putting money in a box. This is a citizen fastening his seat belt. This is a sad boy and a girl making fun of him. This is someone smoking. This is a boy helping an old woman to cross the road. And these are some friends, happy friends. So you have number 1, help elderly, معناها old people. Number 2, respect the law of the road. This is the road, okay? This is the road. This is the road. Number 3, don't mock others. Don't mock others. Number 4, don't smoke. Don't smoke. Number 5, donate money. Donate money. Number 6, be friendly. Be friendly. Okay, I think that they are very easy. They are very clear to be matched. Try to match them and I will go back to you in few seconds. So help elderly. Of course, this picture represents a boy helping an old woman. So help elderly. Respect the law of the road. Of course, it's with this picture he is respecting the law of the road by fastening his seat belt. Don't mock other. Mock معناها making fun of others. So of course it's with this picture. So don't mock others. Don't smoke. So you have smoke is the key word. It's with this picture. Donate money. Donate معناها give money. It's with this picture. And and be friendly. Of course it's with this picture. You can notice here the form of the the form of these sentences. Help elderly. Respect the law of the road. Don't mock others. Don't smoke. Donate money. Do you see any personal pronoun here? Do you see I, you, a name of a person? Do you see the subject here? There is no subject, عليه, because these sentences are in the imperative. Imperative معناها الأمر. When you are talking to someone in front of you, giving him an order, ولا giving him a piece of advice, ولا giving him a recommendation, do not we use the imperative. We do not use any subject. Okay, so هنا the imperative, you can see that this sentence is in the affirmative form, and this sentence is in the negative form. So you have the verb stem with the rest of the sentence. There is no subject. You have do not, okay, don't, plus the verb stem plus the rest of the sentence in the negative form. So these sentences, what do they give us? What do they represent in these pictures? If you see here, don't mock others, respect the law of the road. And they are actions on how to be a good citizen. They are recommendations on how to be a good citizen. If you mock your friend, if you make fun of your friends at school, you are so mean. معناها you are not a good citizen. If you don't respect the law of the road, you are not a good citizen. If you don't help old people, you will not be a good citizen. Okay? So these are some recommendations on how to be a good citizen and on how to play an active role in the community. What does it mean, active role? It's to be active. Don't be passive. ما تكونش جزء غير فعال من المجتمع. That's it. Okay? active معناها فعال، يعني عنصر فعال في المجتمع. That's it. So can you name other activities that make a person a good citizen? Think of other activities on how to be a good citizen. For example, this person is throwing a banana peel on the street. So if you see a person throwing a banana peel in the street, what will you do? What will you do? وش تدير? For example, if I see a person throwing a banana peel on the road, I will what? I will advise him to throw it in its place. I will tell him, do not throw it on the road. Okay, I will pick the banana peel and throw it in the dustbin. So there are many options here. Take a look at these pictures. These are some other examples of on how to be a good citizen. Take a close look to these pictures. So you can see number one. Take a look at number one. So now we are learning some vocabularies. We are learning vocabularies on this subject, on how to be a good citizen. So number one, volunteering to clean the street. They are volunteering, to volunteer, يعني تتطوع. So هنا they are volunteering to clean the street. And we have seen many examples. We have seen such an example in the days of Hirak. After Hirak, each Friday, people volunteer, the youth volunteer to clean the streets of any litter. Number two, volunteering to prepare hot dishes for homeless people. Homeless معناها people without homes. They don't have home. So now they are preparing. You see, this is a very big kitchen, and these people are volunteering to prepare hot dishes for homeless people. يعني they prepare the dish and take it to the homeless people, المتشردين. This picture is clear. Planting trees. So volunteering to plant trees. You can see that they are all wearing the same t-shirt. عليه في رأيكم. So what do you think? Why are they wearing the same t-shirt? They are part of an organization. They are part of an organization. So now they have the slogan. هاهو الشعار تاعهم here, of course here. كيف they have a slogan, they have an organization يعني منظمة, and we have many organizations in Algeria, like you know Nesl Khair is very famous in Algeria. It's an organization volunteering to do the good thing to people. Number 4, volunteering to pick up litter from the street. كيف cleaning the street. It's an organization. Number 5, volunteering to repair buildings. So they are repairing buildings. يعني يعودوا يرموا المباني. Volunteering. So هنا they are not repairing building. Of course they are repairing a playing ground for kids. Okay, حديقة ألعاب للأطفال. Last one, volunteering to distribute groceries for the needy people. So these are groceries, مواد غذائية. They are preparing them to give them to the needy people, to the people in need, who don't have money to buy groceries, ولا who don't have access to groceries. هنا you have the example of Blida. Blida is closed now. They cannot buy groceries. So هنا people they help them to get their groceries. Step 2. So listen to the script part 1 and say true or false. You are going to listen to a very short passage and you say true or false. The writer described citizenship as an honor. In his opinion, citizenship is not an easy matter. Good citizenship is only about doing duties and proclaiming rights. Rights and duties, they are clear. You have already dealt them in the first year. To be a good citizen, you have to be civilized and responsible person. Okay? So this is part 1. You listen and you say true or false. Citizenship is a sacred honor. Sacred, yani very precious. Okay? Very high in value. It's valuable honor. A plaque we carry proudly on our chests. A plaque like in Arabic we call dir'a. We carry proudly on our chests. And a burden pressing hard on our shoulders. A burden معناها عبء pressing hard on our shoulders. A citizen is a member of a country. He has the right to ask for its protection and the duty to protect it and obey its laws and rules. In other words, citizenship is the relationship between an individual and a state. Fortunately, being a good citizen doesn't stop at the exchange of rights and duties. It doesn't stop at the exchange of rights and duties. It requires a lot of civilized behaviors and responsible acts in which the youngest and the eldest have to cooperate. By cooperating, I don't mean giving huge efforts. Simple acts and easy behaviors can help us ameliorate our level of life as Citizens and students in particular, all we have to do are some simple steps like the following. So we keep the following for the next task. What do you think? The writer described citizenship as an honor. In his opinion, citizenship is not an easy matter. Good citizenship is only about doing duties and proclaiming rights. To be a good citizen, you have to be civilized and responsible person. Of course, number one is true. Citizenship is not an easy matter. It's true. Citizenship is only about doing duties and proclaiming rights. It's false. To be a good citizen, you have to be civilized and responsible. It's true. Number two, listen to part 2 now and answer the questions. What did the writer use when giving his pieces of advice? You should give some examples. Okay? So let's listen to part 2. As citizens and students in particular, all we have to do are some simple steps like the following. Yani these are simple steps that can help us to be a good citizen. Okay? Start with your own home. Clean it regularly and take care of your front door area. معناها here, if we clean up our homes, do not throw the garbage or the litter of your home in front of your home, يعني in the street, وتخليهم ثم. No. Okay, take care of your front door area. ماشي الدار نظيفة ولا والبرا مسخ. No. Don't overuse water and electricity. Imagine we run out of them. How can we live? Don't overuse water. When you use water, use it respectively. Don't overuse it. Respect your neighbors. Help them if necessary and act politely. The neighbors are people who live in front of your doors. يعني in the neighborhood where you live. Don't litter or throw trash in the street. Also, don't spit in the street. It doesn't only bother the overpassers by, but it also affects your discipline. And it's very far from being civilized. Don't spit معناها لا تبزقش. Respect the law of the road in your country. This can reduce the amount of accidents. Don't damage your school materials and properties. They are not yours. Act nicely with tourists. If we want our country to receive millions of tourists, try to be nice. Vote. This is your right and duty. If you don't vote, who will? A simple act can place the right person in the right place. In emergencies, don't be afraid. Help the people in need. Blood donations, call the police, the ambulance, and help a lady in the street. If you do that, you will get the same help when you need it. Volunteer. شفناها قبيلة. Volunteer in charities and community services. So community services, the pictures we have seen before. It will help you to rely on yourself. When you become a parent, teach this to your children, because citizenship starts from childhood and only ends by the time you die. It's only by practicing those really simple acts that our daily life can get better. I hope this will help us understand the real meaning of a good citizenship. So this is the name of the writer. We are going to come back to these points. Let's see the questions. What did the writer use when giving his pieces of advice? Of course he used the imperative. Imperative قلنا الأمر, صيغة الأمر. Give some examples. So this is an example. Don't overuse water and electricity. This is negative form. شفناها قبل. Respect other. This is affirmative. What do the sentences between brackets mean here? And why did the writer added them to his pieces of advice? So this is the piece of advice. Don't overuse water and electricity. Now this piece of advice was given in a form of imperative. مديناها على شكل أمر. صح هي it is a piece of advice. Okay. هاي نصيحة تعطت على شكل أمر. So the second part هذا this one between brackets. What do the sentence between brackets mean? ماذا تعني? And why did the writer added this sentence to his piece of advice? So what did the writer say? What did the writer say? Don't overuse water and electricity. Imagine we run out of them. How can we live? And now we think that he supported his piece of advice with an argument. He supported his piece of advice with an argument. هذه مدها باش يقنع القارئ. Okay. يقنع القارئ بالنصيحة نتاعو. So he supported. This is a piece. This is an argument. Okay. This is an argument to support his piece of advice. Act nicely with tourists. If someone came to me and said, act nicely with tourists, I would say, why should I act nicely with tourists? I will not act nicely with tourists. You have nothing to do with me. I'm free. Okay? So he will try to convince me. راح يحاول يقنعني بواش with an argument. So وش قال لي? If we want our country to receive millions of tourists معناها money. Okay? If tourists came to our country, they will bring money with them. Okay? So if we want our country to receive millions of tourists, try to be nice. So this is his argument. Which form of the verb did the writer use in the underlined sentence? Try to be nice. Of course, it is the imperative. So when advising someone, we need to convince him with an argument, a good reason. If we want our country to receive millions of tourists, try to be nice. So now there is a condition. كاينة شرط. Okay. راح تلقاو الدرس تاع الجملة الشرطية هذا the if clause type 1 in the description box. راح تلقاوه إن شاء الله في صندوق الوصف بالتفصيل. Rule number 1. I can use imperative verb stem to give recommendations or pieces of advice. Example, vote. Respect the law of the road in your country. To form the negative of the imperative, I use do not ولا the contracted form don't plus the verb stem. سهلة خلاص. Rule number 2. To convince يعني باش نقنع someone to do something, I need to give an argument يعني حجة. I can use the if conditional type 1. I said that you will find the lesson of conditional type 1 in the description box. So I can use the if conditional type 1. Act nicely with the tourists. Act nicely with tourists. If we want our country to receive millions of tourists, try to be nice. If you help others you will get the same help when you need it. So the red sentences are arguments, the black ones are pieces of advice. So if you help other, this is the condition. If plus present simple راح تعطينا future simple. This is the clause number 2, جواب الشرط. You will get, so subject plus will plus verb stem. You listen again to part 2 and try to match each argument with the following points of view of the writer. Points of view اللي هي advice. Don't litter or throw trash in the street. Also, don't spit in the street. Number 2, volunteer in charities and community services. Number 3, respect the law of the road in your country. Number 4, in emergencies, don't be afraid. Help the people in need. Blood donation, call the police, the ambulance, and help the lady in the street. When you become a parent, teach this to your children. So these are the pieces of advice the writer gave to his readers. You listen again to part 2 and try to write the argument for each piece of advice. Start with your own home. Clean it regularly and take care of your front door area. Don't overuse water and electricity. Imagine we run out of them. How can we live? Respect your neighbors. Help them if necessary and act politely. Don't litter or throw trash in the street. Also, don't spit in the street. It doesn't only bother the other passers-by, مش هيقلق غير المارة, but it also affects your discipline and it's very far from being civilized. Respect the law of the road in your country. This can reduce the amount of accidents. Don't damage your school materials and properties. They are not yours. Act nicely with tourists. If we want our country to receive millions of tourists, try to be nice. Vote. This is your right and duty. If you don't vote, who will? A simple act can place the right person in the right place. In emergencies, don't be afraid. Help the people in need. Blood donation, call the police, the ambulance, and help a lady in the street. If you do that, you will get the same help when you need it. Volunteer in charities and community services. It will help you to rely on yourself. When you become a parent, teach this to your children, because citizenship starts from childhood and only ends by the time you die. It's only by practicing those really simple acts that our daily life can get better. I hope this will help us understand the real meaning of a good citizenship. So you have the text. I have read it. You will have a very short time to think and try to write each argument with its piece of advice. That's it. That's correct. Don't litter or throw trash in the street. Also, don't spit in the street. It doesn't only bother the other passers-by, but it also affects your discipline, and it's very far from being civilized. So this is the piece of advice, and this is the argument he gave. Volunteer in charities and community services. it will help you to rely on yourself. So this is the piece of advice, and this is the argument he gave. It will help you to rely on yourself. يعني if you volunteer in charities and community services, إذا تطوعت, this will help you. هذا راح يعلمك تعتمد على نفسك. هنا إذا حولناها جملة شرطية نقولوا if you volunteer in charities and community services, it will help you to rely on yourself. Respect the law of the road in your country. This will reduce the amount of accidents. يعني if you respect the law of the road in your country, this will help reduce يعني تنقص the amount of accident. In emergencies, don't be afraid. Help the people in need. Blood donations, call the police, the ambulance, and help the lady in the street. If you do that, you will get the you will get the same help when you need it. When you become a parent, teach this to your children, because citizenship starts from childhood and only ends by the time you die. So next task, it's task 12, page 116. You have some sentences. If you are sure that your best friend is a liar, what should you do? Now you should use the imperative. نعملوا لي imperative برك. If your best friend accuses you of being a liar, if you realize that you have wrongly accused your best friend of being a liar, if you suspect that your best friend cheats in the tests and the exams, if you find out that your best friend is mean and selfish. The second part should be used. You should use the imperative. Okay, so take us some time to think. That's correct. If you are sure that your best friend is a liar, don't tell him your secret anymore. If your best friend accuses you of being a liar, explain the situation to him and tell him to confirm before judging. If you realize that you have wrongly accused your best friend of being a liar, apologize to him. If you suspect that your best friend cheats in the tests and the exams, tell him that our religion such an act. If you find out that your best friend is mean his friendship for good, for example, for good, يعني forever. Task 5. Use the pictures below and give some recommendations to your friends using the imperative, then give your argument. So now you have blood donation, you have food donation, cleaning the street, or picking up litter from the road, or cleaning the garden. And now you have some books with many different languages, so you can understand from this picture. Learning languages, for example, learning languages. So what should you do here? You give recommendation, pieces of advice to your friend using imperative. Imperative راح تكون affirmative ولا negative كيما تحب. Okay, ومن بعد you give recommendation, you give argument. Why? Give argument يعني قنع صديقك بالحاجة اللي حبها انت. So blood donation, for example, I will give you an example. Donate your blood in emergencies. Donate your blood in emergencies يعني تبرع بالدم في حالة الطوارئ. Donate your blood in emergencies. This will help many lives. This will help many lives. That's all for this lesson. نتمنى انكم تحاولوا في التمارين هذا، لخاطر انا مش راح نحلو. حاولوا فيه. أه برك باش تشوفوا رواحكم فهمتوا الدرس ولا ما فهمتوش، برك باش تشوفوا رواحكم تعلمتوا دي فوكابولير جدد فيما يخص المواطنة the citizenship. نتمنى اني وصلت ولو القليل من المعلومة. يعني اي حاجة وصلتها فيها فايدة. الحمد لله. that's all. نتمنى السلامة للجميع. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.